I think Johnny Mathis sang it best. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Except I think he was thinking about the holidays and I'm sarcastically thinking about alternate side parking. The fun begins for City of Winona residents on Saturday, November 15th. Deputy Police Chief Tom Williams said the later start to the ordinance began last year.
That was changed last year in an attempt to shorten the season for obvious reasons that people didn't see the need to have alternate side parking in effect when there wasn't any snow. But the reason for the extended season on the fall end was to get the leaves out of the street, to make it much easier for the street sweepers to get it cleaned off and to get the leaves out of the gutter and avoid the catch basins being clogged with leaves in the spring when the ice melts and all the snow melts. In the spring then was to clean the salt and the sand off the streets in an efficient manner by not having cars parked there. But in a response to the citizenry, we knocked off 2 weeks on each end of it, so effectively taking a full month off.
On average, Williams said Winona police issue 2,000 tickets each year. He said ticketing non-compliant vehicles can occupy nearly a third of an officer's shift.
At the beginning of the season, it takes a significant amount of time just because of the fact that people obviously are not aware of the alternate side parking ordinance going into effect. We don't get compliance right away. There'll be certain areas of the city that will require 125 tickets in one particular neighborhood, and it can take upwards of 2.5 to 3 hours for an officer to get a certain part of town completely ticketed. What we do is divide the city into 17 different areas and then assign officers those areas to take care of the enforcement aspect. As the season goes on and people obviously become aware of the fact that the alternate side parking is in effect, it takes a little bit less time, but just simply to drive those streets and make sure that there's no violators in there does take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours of time per officer per night.
Most violators of the ordinance are found in the area near Winona State University. Williams said there are a couple of reasons for that. One is the lack of off-street parking around the university, and the other is that they have not yet found the most effective way to notify students of the ordinance.
We do mass emails, or at least the university does at our request, to all the students that hold a Winona State email account. They have also printed posters and put them on basically every entrance and exit door to every building at Winona State University. We are looking at having a Twitter account to try and get that information out there as well. Ultimately what happens is year after year, the area up by Lourdes Hall, the old St. Teresa campus, and the area west of Huff Street, actually what we look at is the area between Franklin and Grand and 6th and the Lake, is another very, very difficult area for us to gain compliance, and it has to be ticketed many times before we start seeing voluntary compliance.
According to Williams, they do not enjoy writing so many tickets.
We would be ecstatic if we didn't write any alternate side parking tickets. As you can see, the man hours that are allotted to parking enforcement is pretty significant. The headache for vehicle owners who come out and find their vehicle towed is very significant. They have to get a ride down here, they have to get it released, then they have to get a ride out to Borkowski. A standard tow is $106.88, and then add a $25 parking ticket on top of that. And if you don't get out there and get your vehicle picked up, there's a $30 a day storage fee that is tacked on top of it. So you can see that it gets pretty significant in terms of out-of-pocket expense and just the sheer headache of having to make arrangements to get your vehicle. It's a double-edged sword. People don't want to have their vehicles towed, yet they want to drive on cleared streets. The alternate side parking ordinance does allow us to get from the center line to the opposite side to the curb, and then the following day the ability to get that other side cleared up.
Again, alternate side parking begins November 15th at 12:01 a.m. Park on the odd side of the street before you go to bed on Friday night. Now, tickets, if you should get one, can be paid at the Winona Law Enforcement Center located at 201 West 3rd Street between 7:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. You have 7 days to pay your fine. Now, there is an anomaly that you should keep in mind, and that is the double odd phenomenon. 2 consecutive odd days will happen December 31st and January 1st, and January 31st and February 1st. So on those days, stay on the odd side of the street.